There we go. Mike, what's going on?
That was absurd. How you guys doing?
How you doing?
I can't complain. I'm enjoying my Mike Wynne 2.0 bullshit since my heart attack. So yeah, best thing I've ever done for myself professionally was hook up with you guys.
I like it. Do you mind telling everyone that this is not a paid advertisement and you're a trained actor?
This is not a wow, I wish I could get my phone to do what I wanted to do. That'd be super dope. What the all right, I give up. Yeah, no paid advertising going on here at all.
You're good. You're good. We see you perfectly. Well, cool. No, we appreciate you hopping on. We won't take too much of your time.
No, it's nice actually to not talk to somebody about a loan for a minute. So I'm looking at my hair. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck happened this morning, but I guess we'll deal with it. Looks like I'm a mad scientist. All right.
Just be grateful for what we got, some
100%, man. I'm 55 as of last week, so full head of hair. Pretty excited about that.
very cool.
Just saying, because I see a lot of dudes I grew up with, and I'm like, that no, that really sucks.
Um, so
Yeah,
to
man.
kick it off for us, Mike, so tell us, give us a little background on you. Your time in the business, things that you've done, and kind of what led you here.
Sure, sure. Uh, my background is as a stockbroker and professional day trader for a bunch of years, and then probably in '98 got into the mortgage business. Ran my own company for a long time. I've been a sales trainer. I've been one of the top guys in Maryland for a bunch of years, and then 6 years ago, 7 years ago almost, I really was burnt out on the mortgage business. I'd kind of gotten in and gotten out a couple times. And I really just said, kind of jumped into the commercial side, not knowing anywhere near as much as I thought I did. And I've certainly had moments of really cool success, but nowhere near it. Never. I said whatever a lot because I would stuff would get to the finish line or some everything was out of my control, and so I had given some thought to kind of how do I curb that, and had joined up with a company called I don't know if we want to bring up names, but one of the other groups out there, offering super broker capability, and found the commission structure to be awful. When I was in the hospital dealing with a triple bypass, they didn't do anything they said they would. So it kind of gave me time to reevaluate and figure out, realign my whys and what I wanted to do in the business and who I wanted to do work with. So was
Mhm.
messing around one day, found Relic, pretty quickly jumped on the phone with you guys, and found out within 2 weeks that I could not do this alone. I was like, wow, that's a lot of leads. And I for sure need to go back on some of the guys early in because I just was inundated and didn't expect it. So I actually brought a partner on, and his mind has been blown. We're placing I I would say almost every single call I actually engage in. So I've certainly pulled a couple guys where they could go, and a bunch of ones that don't work out. But I've also got deals upwards of 50 mil right now,
Wow.
each, that I've gotten from just the leads.
Sure.
So I can't complain about that. I mean, I'll have a clear to close, not a clear to close, but I'll have through underwriting on three phases of 25 mil each, and
That's
they're all
awesome.
approved. Like, it's already good. I'm so happy. Made my
Wow.
whole year in one call. So
That's
that's
that's awesome. Is Relic your first foray into like a digital based system for generating business?
Yeah, probably. I mean, most of my time in the mortgage business was earlier on. So like, I built my book up early. Um, Probably in like, by 2004, 2002, I had a really solid base.
Yeah,
But yeah, everything I did was referral. So and I think that if I really, to be honest, it's the reason that I didn't have more success um in before now. For
yeah.
sure,
I
for
mean,
sure.
for me, when I started this whole thing, that was, as an entrepreneur, I always have my ear to the ground, of course. Um, but one of the big telling signs of a good industry to get into is when most of the business is being handled interpersonally, referral based, like mano a mano.
Oh, 100%.
And it's just like I just heard the church bells ringing and said, like, especially like, on the resi mortgage side, there's been players that have been around and there's been a lot more disruption. Um,
100%.
but for commercial, for investment, for whatever reason, it's just been dominated by this really specific like typeface of person.
Right.
And everyone's built their business the same way. It's like guys who've been doing this 20 years, they have a network, they have a book, but the business is changing. Like it's
Business is changing 100%. And I probably the second smartest thing I did was, and it was by mistake, a guy that brought me a couple deals last year called me up and was like, I got this guy. He's like a younger you, but organized. I think you need to rap with him. Bringing that guy on, he's 39 and looks at he's all about the details. I don't know if I'm great. I'm not going to toot that horn. I'm a really good networker. And I think that's where my strengths, and I'm a good intro guy.
sure.
I I don't even understand how to call somebody and not assume the sale. Um, it's not even, you're going to do the deal with me, Jack. I mean, if you don't, you don't, but,
Yeah.
um,
I mean,
yeah, you got it.
that's what
What's
we
up?
that's what we see as the make or break. Like, well, we are experts at bringing people and opportunities to the table, and equipping you guys with everything you need. But it's you who gets on the phone at the end of the day, and that's the make or break skill. Uh,
Well, what's interesting is on that note is since I brought Jason on, what, 3 weeks ago or something, every call I've done with a new contact or a follow up has been with him on the phone. And the feedback that we get after every call is like really cool. I've never done that before, but it allows Jason to do his thing, which is really more about he's might be the most type A guy I've ever met. I'm like, yo, you need to breathe a little.
yeah,
But I think it's a really interesting model. And I think after July, we're gonna be in a position where I really want to kind of crank this up.
sure.
Mm,
I mean,
You know,
you're coming up on 3 months, right?
right.
Which means you're probably about 2.5 months live. You already have 140 leads generated. But what's really crazy about your success so far is in the opportunities generated. I don't know if you've taken a look at your report section yet.
No, I don't even know how to read that shit. Talk to me. That's Jason, man. I'm like, what? Greek who? Where?
You have 14 applications created out of 140 leads, 26 loans priced, 74 million 819,000 in application loan volume.
It's actually more than that.
Well,
Just
Oh,
what? Just on whatever's out on the street right now.
yeah,
Dude, mucho dinero rocking. It's really good, man. It's probably four
that's
times that.
that's the soundbite, Paul.
Yeah,
there it is. Yeah.
Um,
Wait, 4 times that.
bro. Just for giggles, let's run it down, right?
Okay.
So one of my first leads I got was from a broker out of Seattle, who's I guess I don't know if you guys know who UC Funding is.
no,
All right, so it's a big construction lender that started having every possible legal issue they could have. They were running short. They were robbing Paul to pay Pete on the lines. So I had to. So this guy, it was 3-phase project, 75 mil or 85 mil total. Um, First phase, they got it already funded. They needed an extension of 10 mil. They got it.
Ah, you got
Oh,
muted.
you're muted, Mike.
There you go.
He needed so we needed to pay off UC funding of 25 mil and needed another 5.5 mil.
Mhm.
As soon as that's funded, start the second phase for 25 mil. At the same time, and by the end of the year, convert the first loan into permanent financing. Now, what's really great is the broker locked in 2 points on each project. Oh, so one for me across the board. So I'll find out for sure on Friday, but I mean, my first check in like 40 days from them should be like 650 grand.
That's awesome.
Which doesn't suck. We just got another one. I think we talked to him yesterday or Tuesday for 47 mil.
Wow.
Wow,
And
that's already that one's only half your. That's already half of more than half the pipeline that's reported. That's crazy.
100%, dude. I've got my boys. I mean, we're really moving right now as far as locking in loans all over the place. I think we're going to start using Relic a bunch more. It's just been a question of the right things fitting in the right place, right? But yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't think Gary's, I don't know. I don't think that guy, my former boss in the mortgage business for a while, is going to work out.
Yeah. Um,
I just, I mean, look, man, I'm dealing with a certain level of sophistication. I think I'm pretty good at messing with clients in a joking way, and it makes it warmer. But dude, what the fuck happened to him? What happened? Like he was a sharp guy. He's a good underwriter kind of guy, but like every time I talk to him, it's like Eeyore. You know, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm sending this guy leads to call. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out, do I want to take the time to,
well, building a team is going to be really important. Like having the right people,
I mean, that's everything that that's how I lead my life. I mean, Jason was huge for me, and I think I was huge for him. So that really works out well. My girlfriend will come on full time. I don't know. I got like a 30 grand funding like in 2 weeks. So I'll allow her to quit her job and breathe again. And
That's awesome.
yeah, man, she is such a project manager, such a, I mean, she was the top rep for New Century, in the mortgage days. And I mean, she's a good looking Italian woman. She's 59 in a minute. But yeah, man, I mean, I've known for a long time that I thought she was crucial to my success. Um,
let me ask
and
you this for
yeah, sure.
for someone who has not yet jumped in the program, someone who is afraid of sort of the unknown, doesn't know what to expect.
Have they produced, or is this a new person completely?
Either or. What are
Okay.
what are
Okay.
your number one tips for for someone starting out or looking at this from the sidelines in terms of what you think they should know to be successful outside of what we're bringing to the table?
So let's just start at the base number, right? So sounds like I would assume most people go for the middle tier, right? Starting up, or I don't,
Where they are, yeah. It depends on where they are, but yeah.
on their expenses are short. So taking the tier that I'm on, I would say that it almost doesn't work for one person. unless you're like younger than me, right? I don't know. Maybe if you're that crazy dialed in. But really, for me, like, I just come off a life-changing medical thing, right? And I don't think I had no clue that I was going to get that many. Like, if I had really been on my game or I was rolling like I'm rocking right now, I have another 10 deals right now. I
Sure.
know that for a fact. And it was driving me bananas, right? Which was why it was lucky when I found. That's why I originally brought uh, um, Gary on, was because I needed to. But I think good advice for anybody that's contemplating is there's absolutely zero reason not to do it. It's as far as the quality of the leads. I sincerely mean that you guys are a cut of. I mean, I haven't done right. I haven't really done. I had a telemarketing group, and I had my own cold caller for years. But as far as like producing leads that are they're going to go somewhere, especially given that it's Facebook and Instagram, and I think, coming from a LinkedIn world, that's certainly going to be an unknown for some people. I've been blown away by the my level of engagement. Are all the loans the size that I like to do? No, but I mean, that's what you pay for, right? And the little guys still have 10 deals to do, so it doesn't even matter from that end. Yeah, I just think you need to know that you can't really. I don't think you can be successful as a one-man shop. One man and a processor, totally.
Sure.
But totally. But you got to be really on your point, and your follow-ups got to.
That's because of the volume of opportunity that's coming in.
100%.
That's interesting. That's great to know.
Yeah, I really think, I mean, look, this is, you guys are still in the upward, changing stuff a lot and all that. I think, I really think the education piece of it probably the interesting thing about this market, as you guys well know, is that I think if you were to line up 10 lenders or 20 lenders and say that all said they do ground up construction, uh, the disparity between one lender and another right now is pretty broad, or certainly nuanced more than I think it was ever in the past. So,
Sure.
I think the education's key. And
In terms of the lending side of Relic, you've had a go at some pricings and stuff like that. There's definitely disparity in the market. What do how have we chopped up so far? For the
well,
deal?
I mean, I think, I wouldn't. I mean, I've got some guys that we're looking at right now that are beginners that, we'll probably put into that program. But I think you guys are clearly more about experience, right? Which is fine, and kind of the trend in the market. I think that look, especially if a guy's got an entitled piece of land right now, who else is giving you 75% of the purchase? Like, I'll tell you who. Nobody.
We have our zero experience product, right? Which is pretty unique as well. Zero
Yeah.
experience grown up. So I think that's one of the areas where we get a lot of business too. I don't know if you haven't taken advantage of it yet, you should.
I don't think I have. Talk to me. Maybe we need to have that conversation more.
Yeah, we could definitely have that combo. It's
Yeah, sure. With Jason on the phone would be helpful.
Yeah, sure.
But no, but to your question, I really think that overall you guys have a not to toot a horn, but you guys have a really strong organization going. You clearly you know the importance of putting the right people in the right places.
I appreciate that.
I mean, that's where I come from on this too. And I think, my opinion of what was possible the day before I met Jason versus now, I think at some point I would have been like, oh, I don't want to share commissions.
Right.
But I'm getting, if I'm able to get 3 times the amount of loans out the door who cares? That's called the price of doing business.
Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
business, it's all about leverage, either. You know,
100%, and I mean, moving forward, if you guys have any, some guys that maybe it makes sense to put them on a team, teach them or whatever, I'm down to discuss, because I think I really want to take this thing to I don't want 30 guys or anything like that. I have no interest.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe, but I can't. It doesn't matter if you have 20 guys or 10. There's 6 guys that do well.
Yeah, you better to have three killers than,
I'd love to have 3 killers. What else? And a really good processor. What?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Get out.
And
I
you
love it.
mentioned something earlier too, Mike,
Sure.
about like when Jordan was asking you about like, what's kind of like what's important to you when you first start. Um, I'm kind of reading between the lines here, but you mentioned like, you never approach business with the same like, oomph, like how you're attacking business right now. Like, how important do you think that is? Like in terms of like following up with your leads, understanding that obviously like for the viewers, when leads come in, not every single one of them is going to be a home run ball, but
Oh,
you still need
100%.
to do your due diligence. Like, how important is that? And like, how do you go through that? Is it like is a mindset numbers game? Is it how you approach them personally and you have to do it? Like, what's
What do you
your
mean
approach?
as far as the process to? I mean, I treat every loan the same, right? Because
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, let's say conservatively, 50% of the people of the leads give you some sort of more than just "I want a construction loan" comment, right?
Sure.
Some give you a little breakdown, but I mean, really, uh, unless it's this, you don't know much until you pick up the phone. So, um, yeah, I look at it as, well. I mean, sort of what I said before. I look at it as I've already done the deal. I've already gotten the deal. I mean, that's always kind of the way I've uh, made a call and how I've taught other guys and whatever. Um, but I look at it like we just had a call today, right? And it's probably a really cool luxury custom home thing in like 8 months. But he was asking for our opinions, and he had been quoted like 13% on a $7 million construction loan, and he was like, I think that's really expensive. And I'm like, we both were like, that's fine, take that. I mean, what's the difference between 11.99 and 13, unless you're getting Dutch interest going on, right? So,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I answered your question or not. I mean, I just have
No, no, you're good.
I just think that, I think that what I've come up with my guy Jeremy is you guys from probably this point on are gonna see some crazy numbers from us. Um,
That's awesome.
the success rate of 2 people, even calls that I've taken myself, once I kind of see that it's a more than $100 and something $1,000 loan, and I want to give it to somebody else in my life. Then I'm like, hey, let me bring my partner in, and it worked. I mean, every single call I get an email saying I'd love talking to you guys.
Hmm.
Um,
I
so
think that just speaks volumes though of like how like intentional you are with every lead. You guys are following up, and that goes without
100%.
saying. I think that goes
Well,
without
but I mean,
saying sometimes. Yeah.
100%, right? And I think that probably the best thing I could say to back to that question of what do you say to somebody brand new coming in? Don't do this if you're going to do it half-assed.
Hmm.
100%. Because at some point you're going to have to look at the numbers you're spending and how many leads you've missed. Right? Because I love, like, so just take my guy Gary right now. Like, hey, how are leads going? Nothing good. It's okay. I can't trust that. I can't trust that was a success. That wasn't him, right?
Right. Right.
Or the next loan officer or whatever.
Exactly.
There's no way that I can pick up a phone call blind and half awake and get a guy to send me a deal, and he can't get one guy to talk to him.
Right. Right.
And when he does have somebody, it's an $80,000 deal and he's trying to send 19 messages to lenders and Jordan, and I
Yeah.
cringe every time I see him send Jordan a message. I cringe.
So basically,
I
Paul,
cringe, Jordan.
the message is attack every lead like you got a new lease on life.
Yeah, I
Couldn't
mean,
have
well,
said
you
it
don't
better
know
myself.
you don't know who your call is with, and let's go beyond that. Really, what I'm loving about the leads, and who's being attracted to them, is, I mean, I've got probably 20 guys or more right now that there's, anywhere from 1, 2 to 20 projects coming up right behind them.
Hmm.
And, I mean, as much as it's, I mean, yes, it's a great system for leads and the whole having the lender attached, but the fact that those leads are allowing me to grow my business and, in a sense, forecast for the first time since I've been on the commercial side, forecast what I'm going to be making, and not even only in a 30 or 45-day process, but I mean, because of that timeline, I mean, I already know just from a couple guys that I've made over $500,000 next year,
Hmm.
already, right? Like projects
Yeah.
that won't start till, January or December or whatever. And all, if you want to just be frank, and compared to where I was mentally, emotionally, whatever, with this business in November compared to where it is now, I was trying to, I've been, oh, am I getting out? Am I doing, am I going to go work for a lender? What am I going to do? To having, 3 or 4 people work for me. And by the end of June, I'll made more money than I ever have in my life.
I love that. That's amazing.
I mean,
I think we can tie it up there. That was the point final, as we say.
wasn't it?
But
Yeah, man. I mean,
we
that's,
really appreciate you. We appreciate the time you took to give to give the feedback, and it also helps other people, like being able to see your story and see the
100%.
a lot of people unfortunately lose steam too soon, and they haven't seen the light at the end of the tunnel yet. But seeing it and hearing it from a guy like you,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 21 years old. I've certainly been doing, I get it. And I'm glad to do it. I've said it a million times. You guys are easily a couple steps ahead of anybody else I've dealt with. So yeah, happy to do it.
cool. We appreciate it. Well, yeah,
All right, gentlemen.
reach out about those loan products. We'll talk
Yeah, I
more.
will. I will do that.
I'll be hearing from you, I'm sure.
All right, man. Thanks, bro.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.